Hello, welcome back to the Antique Central channel. My name's Mark and I buy and sell antiques and vintage here in the UK. I've got a great haul for you today. It's mainly working stock, so it's all affordable, but should flip for about 3 times what I paid for it, to give you a steer. So we'll start off in no particular order, although I will say I do have 2 items at the end that demonstrate rookie mistakes when you're out and about sourcing your stock. So if you hang around somewhere around the end of the video, I'll show you these 2 items and the mistakes that I made. They're quite funny now to look back on, but at the time I just wanted to well, you know, once you bought them, sold as seen, that's it, game over. So we'll start off with a lovely 1970s turned fruit bowl. Various woods, mahogany, beech, ash probably. Has the original green felt on the base. And when I purchased this, it was in a terrible state and I actually picked it up for £2. So I'd refinished it, took all the scratches out, gave it a coat of lacquer, several coats actually, and now I use it in my own house as a fruit bowl. So it just shows what you can pick up with a little bit of effort should you wish to bring the item back to life. So lovely little 1970s period fruit bowl. Next up we have a pair of Victorian candlesticks, brass, and they have their original candle ejectors in the base. And now these candle ejectors were used to push up the nub of the candle that's left in the stem, so you don't waste any. And these, amazingly, these I can't show you because the candle's too low, but they do, I'll not be able to show you here. There you go. They do still work. There you go. So you'll see it appear again if I press from the top. There you go. So it's quite unusual that these still work. Normally they're completely seized up and of no use whatsoever. So they have been polished, pair of Victorian, and they'd be post 1840 because they're cast, you can see they're cast in one piece and they're solid. They haven't been machine turned in the base and they're not split into where the original casting was done. Generally before 1840 they would have been machine turned and they could well be a split casting. So nice pair of Victorian brass candlesticks, and these will probably sell for in the region of £35. Next up we have, a little bit different for me, here we have a ceramic, it's not a mannequin as such, a ceramic head on a hardwood base, mounted on a hardwood base. And it is handmade by the sculptor. It's got a style, it's got a look to it, it's modern, it's just decorative. As you know, Antique Central, we're dealing affordable, decorative items, as well as antiques and vintage. So it's a nice piece. It's got a bit of charm to it. So that will probably sell in the region of £45-ish. All these prices are only approximate. I haven't done much research on them. Next up we have, go in this order here, this is a tin photo frame. It's incredibly ornate. It's French. It's got a card inside which actually says, and this is where I'm going to absolutely murder French, Marc de Fab Deposé. That's a Brummie speaking French, so apologies to everyone out there. Yeah, so it's incredibly ornate tin photo frame, turn of the century, and this will sell for in the region of £35 to £45. All my prices include shipping to UK mainland as well. And there you go. So moving swiftly on, we have a small brass inkwell. Now, I think it has got some age to it. I think it's possibly early part of the 20th century. Hinge lid, and it has what I'm pretty sure is a replacement inkwell in it. This looks like Bakelite to me, or an early form of plastic. And it's very similar to the school inkwells that you had in desks, although you can see from the top there, it's a very small aperture, so it is a pen, but it doesn't quite fit. So although the lid closes, no problem, but I think that would have had originally had a glass insert. So a bit of a marriage there. Still vintage, Bakelite or possibly early plastic inkwell or insert in certainly a vintage or antique brass inkwell. So price wise, not a huge amount, probably 35 to 40 pounds, something like that approximately. Quite decorative and good little buy. It came as a job lot, part of a job lot, so I paid very little for it. Next up, we have, this is one for our American viewers and friends. Pretty sure this is an American biplane. And on the wings, it has the numbering and the lettering FX1108. So if anybody in America knows anything about this at all, please let me know. I haven't researched it. It's in excellent condition. Propeller spins. It has its bombs on the bottom still. They haven't come away. So nice tin plate. I'm thinking it might be vintage, but it could be contemporary and made to look vintage. Not sure. If you can help me out with that, that'd be great. I will research it myself as well, but I'll probably list that in the region of 30 to 40 pounds, but I might be overpriced in that. Right, here's the first of the mistakes that you don't want to make when you're outsourcing stock. Right, first sight, pair of open barley twist brass candlesticks. Antique, certainly vintage, but possibly antique. Nice, but have you spotted the problem? They're not a matching pair. You can see from the sconces on the top. They look very similar, but they're not. They're not identical, so I can't sell these as a pair. And when you look at the base, probably get a better view of it from there. You can see they're not different. I was in a rush, I was in a hurry, picked them up, paid for them, got them home, checked them over, and bang, there you go. So always double, triple check when you're outsourcing. Otherwise, you'll make stupid rookie mistakes like this. Right, next up we have a very heavy brass crocodile or alligator. Not sure, to be honest. What is it? Well, it is a nutcracker. Seem to be specialising in nutcrackers at the moment. I had a nice mid-century one last week, and there you go. I'll show you in the close-up. You put your nut in his mouth and crack away. Weighs a ton. It is, I would say, certainly antique, probably early part of the 20th century. Price-wise, again, you're in that 30 to 40 pound, probably 45 pounds maximum. Might be less than that. But a nice, functional, decorative, and affordable piece there. And a bit of a talking point. And yeah, it's, I don't know, he's got a good look to him, I think, in my opinion. Again, I only picked this up for a couple of pounds. Right, next up we have a pair of Shisham wood desktop accessories. And those of you who watch my channel regularly will know that the Shisham wood comes from the Indian continent. It's a hardwood that's easy to carve and polishes up really nicely to give a very attractive decorative appearance to the finished item. And what I've done here is I've combined two items I purchased separately as one item on the Antiques Central website, which you can see down here. So please go and check it out. The more visits it gets, the more it helps the visibility on Google search. So I'd really appreciate it if you could pop along and have a little look around the store. And you never know, there might be something you're interested in buying. If there is anything, let me know if you're a subscriber, and I'm sure I can do you a bit of a deal. So there you go. There's an offer you can't refuse. So what we have is a letter stand, and it has the inlaid decorative oxbone floral pattern on the front, and there is a little box lined with a purple type velvet material. Well, I felt really, to be honest with you. So, and again, it has the inlaid bone floral decorative pattern. And it's hand carved. These are handmade. Price wise, probably around £35 for the two. A nice little desktop accessory set. Right, here is the second rookie mistake I made. No. A pair of copper candlesticks. Antique. Didn't pay much for them at all. Got the original felt base. But when I got them back home, I looked at the one and the sconce on the top was slightly bent. So I thought, I know, I'll just bend it back very gently. Bang. Broke the weld. The solder, I should say. So absolutely knackered, which is an English expression. It may not be known worldwide, but it just basically means ruined. And it's a real shame. They've lasted 100 years, came back to my workshop, and I've broken it. Now, I can get it soldered. I'll look into getting it repaired, but not ideal. So the moral of the story is, when you've got an antique item you've purchased, you've got it back to your workshop or your office, whatever. And in this instance, if you see it's slightly bent, don't mess with it. It's part of its story, in my opinion. At the very least, you could have heated it up or something to bend it. But in my haste, I literally went in like a bull in a china shop and broke it. It's best to leave well alone and sell with character. And the character being the very slightly bent sconce on top of the stem. So very frustrated with that. And the reason they're copper is they would have been originally made as silver plated, and over the years and years, 100 years of polishing, the silver plates come off, and you can still see little remnants of it actually around the base where the polishing cloth, you can't get into it. So yeah, very frustrated with that. I'm more annoyed with myself. So I've got to make the decision on, do I repair it or do I sell the one as just a copper candlestick. Next up, we have an arts and crafts copper trumpet vase. Very heavy. Again, got its original beige base. I think that might be brass, and the rim might be brass. And then it's a hand-beaten arts and crafts period trumpet vase. And price-wise, quite a few of them around, although this is particularly nice. It does have a very slight dent, which you can see just there, hopefully, where my finger is. But doesn't really detract from the, if you were 100 years old or even older, then I think you'd probably have a few dents as well. I know I've got a few. So there you go. A lovely period arts and crafts, hand-hammered copper trumpet vase. And while we're on the subject of arts and crafts, nice little piece here. This is a arts and crafts copper bowl, dish, plate, whatever you want to call it. No maker's mark. Always check for maker's marks. There's nothing there. Very simple little piece. A bit of a survivor. Nicely made. And price-wise, £25, roughly, approximately. Never hold me to my prices until they go on the website, that is, the Antique Central website. All right, last up, we have, this was probably the star buy, a handmade, hand-carved wooden platter. Now, it could be African or it could be the Middle Eastern region. Not sure at the moment. Needs to do a bit of research. Interesting piece, though, with the handles on the side. No mark on the bottom. Sometimes you get a carved maker's mark on the bottom, but there's nothing there. Seen a lot of use. Has a few little splits in it, but they're only cosmetic. Just in the wood naturally, probably. This is probably the most valuable piece I've shown you. And this could well retail on the Antique Central website for in the region of £90 to £120. They are popular and they sell quickly and they sell well. So if you see them around, grab them. Yeah, there you go. That's the last of the items. Trying to keep it to the 20 minutes again. I don't think I've missed anything off. No, we've all done it. So I hope you enjoyed that small but eclectic haul. Mixture of working stock and a couple of choice pieces like the carved wooden platter at the end or charger. To support the channel, please like, comment, share, subscribe. It's really important. It raises the visibility in the eyes of the YouTube algorithm. But as ever, take care, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.